hear us, but they can't see us. Yeah, and I just recently got the tabbed character sheet set up for the red ongoing and my one shot ongoing, but I set up a separate you know game on Roll20. That way I don't lose the existing character sheets, and I'm just letting my players casually copy and paste over to the new one, and then when everyone's over there, I'll start using that.
Cool.
But
yeah, it's the way to do it.
yeah, I'm stuck. I got to use all the free options.
Cyberpunk Uncensored.
One day I'll be able to afford all the fancy bells and whistles. All right, you guys are live. You can take it from here.
Awesome. Welcome everybody to the latest in our Choombas Cyberpunk RED actual play stream. We are a little lower on numbers today just because of it's some Colo holiday. Yeah.
Singles Awareness Day.
Yeah. Fortunately, my wife has nothing to do with any of that. She doesn't buy into corpo bullshit, so I'm all good, and we are still here to play. So we're picking up from where we left off last week, and we've got a couple of us still here. If you want to check out, we have the YouTube video. I think went up last night. It went up 1 or 2 days ago. Anyway, you can check out all the links to see the previous episodes down in the description, and that's got links to the Discord and everything else, and all our fantastic subscribers, all our fantastic sponsors. Now, our playlist, you can see the blank spaces where the rest of them normally are, but we do have, it's quantity over quality. So we do have with us our solo Hyle.
Quantity, you mean? I think you had that backwards.
I was hoping you wouldn't notice that. No, man, you're the good ones. You're here. Yeah. So Hyle, introduce yourself. Who are you? Who's your character?
All right. I'm Scrag. Currently working on some small business software on my free time, and my character Hyle is a solo. I kind of spoiled it a little bit last week, but we'll just say he's not from here. He's not from Night City. That's for damn sure. And he's trying to bring the whole system down.
Noble pursuit. And Locke, who are you, and who is your character?
So my character Locke is a tech. He's recently come to Night City and searched for, he's not really sure. He's been sent here on a mission that he doesn't have the details for yet. But he's been kind of running into some AI and has some AI history in his background. So it seems like some things are unraveling there. And currently he's just trying to get some good gear. He likes tinkering with stuff, doing some inventions and things. And so that's pretty much, he's a badass tech in a nutshell. That's what he does.
Nice. Okay. So usual caveat supply that I try and remember to slide in at the beginning of every stream. We do occasionally, this is a fun game, but we do occasionally touch upon adult topics. There will be violence. There's always going to be violence and swearing. So if you don't like those things, or if you don't like the mention of unpleasantness, then just you've been pre-warned. And where we left off last time, our characters had, after concluding their encounter with the what had been publicly dubbed the Lullaby Killer, they were introduced to, I believe, as Wraith. Once they'd sorted that whole mess out and got a nice chunk of pocket change out of it, they decided to do some healing up, resting up, making plans, getting prepared for the night market, which turned out to actually be a midnight market, which was coming up at the end of the month. They attended, they met some interesting characters, and maybe made a few little purchases on the side and got some bits of information that some of them were looking for. Just as they were about to head out with their shopping trip completed, there was a slight disruption at the edge of the zone that's been cleared for this midnight market. That disruption coming in the form of the sound of vehicle engines and automatic weapon fire. Two of our favorite noises. So that is where we pick up. So let's move you guys over to the correct map. Here we go. That should come up in a second. So this will show when it arrives where you were, which is a small car park in Little Europe, which had been about a 9-block area, so a 3x3 square, had been cleared for this market. The residents hadn't been cleared out, but guards had been posted and various distractions. A festival of some sort, street entertainment, had been put in place all around the perimeter, as Mrs. Hahn's little smoke screen covering up her enterprise here, where she's making her big money. Now, someone seems intent on disrupting that. And you guys come in. You have just heard. You were, I believe, the entire group was there. You also had your handy hired driver, Travis, was still in the area, waiting to see whether he was needed or not. And you completed your purchases, got some information, and then were rudely interrupted. What is your immediate reaction on hearing? It's still quite distant, this gunfire, but I think you all did. You had like an amazing round of perception rolls, so I think you all picked up on it straight away. What is your reaction?
We have our radio still, right?
Yeah.
I'll call Travis.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try to call Travis and tell him to get ready to leave.
Travis comes back. Yeah, 10-4. If no offense, but if you guys aren't here soon, then there's going to be a surcharge if you want me to hang around.
So I'm going to call Mrs. Hahn. And so are these your friends, or are they some uninvited guests?
You get on the phone, or you get on your agent, and you can see that the call's connected. But you see something you're not used to seeing on a personal line, which is a little incoming video recording, which tells you the person you're trying to reach is currently unavailable. You are in position 27 in the queue. please
great.
feel free to keep waiting, or press 1 to receive a callback when they are available. Thank you.
Yeah, so I'll just say over the radio that I just called Mrs. Hahn, and her phone's blowing up right now, so I'm guessing she doesn't know anything about this. Everyone's trying to call her, so I don't think this is anything planned. I mean, I have rent coming up. I don't know about you guys, but if I can give Mrs. Hahn a hand and save some money on rent, I might be into doing that. Maybe we should keep an eye out and see what goes on here for a little bit first before we hightail out of here. And I'm sure we can negotiate Travis's fees to be picking up by Mrs. Hahn too.
How close are we to the weapon stall?
Everything is relatively close here. There is a lot of chaos, as in these few seconds, those who didn't notice it initially have picked up on the sound of gunfire is getting steadily closer. So all the various groups, you had a few corpo-looking types, you had a couple of different gangs who'd now accumulated since you guys arrived. You were some of the first to arrive, so it was pretty empty when you first got here. There's some definite sort of organized crime looking types, and all these groups are vying to, they're sort of eyeing each other suspiciously. Hands are on weapons, or weapons are out and at the ready, and they are, everyone's on edge. You can see stall holders starting to throw all of their wares into their on standby vehicles. They're quite practiced at it. This is obviously not the first time that this sort of thing happens in a night market.
All right. What I want to do is I kind of want to get out in the middle of everybody, whistle very loudly, kind of give them all looks, and kind of throw in some hand signals to kind of show that, let's lock and load, spread out, get ready. So I need to roll for that. Any of that?
Give me some sort of. Do you have leadership?
Let me look. That would be under social.
I'm trying to visualize. I've not got a sheet open in front of me, so I'm trying to see what the most appropriate skill would be.
Probably.
Let's see. We're probably looking at either. You can use. We're probably looking at persuasion or streetwise seem the most appropriate things.
Oh, nice.
That will do. So yeah, you get out there and you start. Not that many people sort of stop and look at you, but a few are continuing to do. Some stop and look. Most are sort of continuing what they're doing, whether it's readying for an attack or whether it's loading merchandise up into their vehicles. But they're sort of keeping an eye on you now. You've got that attention.
All right.
What do you want to do?
Now that I have their attention, I'll give them kind of some brief hand signals as far as like pulling out my weapon. I'm checking the ammo, looking at whoever has weapons, kind of like pointing them in spots, kind of like tactical spots to hold a corner or to hold a choke point. And I'm just sort of like not even worried about whether they're actually going to do it. I turn around and I get into a spot behind something. I don't know where we are exactly, behind a crate or a car, and I'm just sort of waiting for whatever's coming to launch a counterattack immediately.
So as Scrag is doing that stuff, when he's directing people, I'm going to make another call. So let me know when that's a good time to do that, Panda.
You can make it right now. You're setting up to sort of, you're judging where the noise is coming from and getting the best cover that you can, the best vantage point. What other call do you want to try and make?
So I'm going to try to call Juliet.
Okay.
Am I able to get through?
The person you are trying to reach is currently unavailable. You are position 43 in the queue.
The fuck?
If you would like to wait, please do so.
So I'm gonna look at my at Hijack and say, "Is there anything you can do about this? Can you push me through?"
He looks at it and says, I don't know, man. It's not something I've ever tried, but throw me your agent. I'll give it a go."
All right, so I'll hand him the agent. Just made a mess.
While you're doing that, since you made mention of it, you'd gone over to you're quite close now to the weapons vendor stall.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks over to you guys as he's hurriedly loading, as is Shirlene. But he looks over to you, Locke, and says, "I heard that, boy. Well, I just spoke to Juliet, and she doesn't think the merchandise is the first priority here. She thinks that whatever's going on, they're just out to ruin her name and stop her ever putting on a market again. So I'm going to need your help."
So that's fine. That's what Scrag is organizing people right now. I mean, this is I've been to a few of these, but none in Night City. So what are you looking for help? And do you know where Juliet or Mrs. Hahn is? I would imagine there are probably targets in this.
I think you might be getting slightly mixed up there. Juliet is Mrs. Hahn. I think you're thinking of Sally, her niece.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I looked at
who you couldn't get through to either. Don't worry.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, you couldn't get through to either of them. Sally's phone wasn't as busy, but it's just unavailable. There's no signal connecting.
Okay.
So he looks over to you and just says, "Well, Juliet is safe, she assures me, but she wants her business looking after. And if I can help her do that, and you boys can help, then I'm sure she's going to make it worth our while."
I'll say,
So,
okay, so what's the priority? Is just getting all the merchants out then safely? Is that what's going to restore her because this must happen all the time. So is that the priority here?
Well, that's the thing, you see. Anyone who seriously thinks they can attack her operation, they must have a better plan than just a little bit of, hit and run. You saw all the guards she had posted, and you see who's around here. Anyone comes down that street, they're going to get torn to shreds. Now, my guess is what they're going to do, try and hit her influence somehow. I don't think they're targeting the market itself. You see all those people she had putting on a show, putting up a screen so that the pigs wouldn't come in and interrupt our delicate negotiations. I think they're the target.
Okay. I'll say we'll see what we can do then, and I'll call Travis and say, just the guns work on that AV, or is that just for show?
Yes, man, they definitely work. Bullets ain't free, but I'm sure you know that.
And say, well, how's a favor from Mrs. Han? I mean, this is her show. I'm sure she'll help you out if you help us take care of this.
Now, boy, you do know how to negotiate. Yeah, I'm sure that I could be in the market for something like that.
All right, sounds good. I'll try to find a place to meet you, and I'll let them know where in the market I am, and see if you can come pick me up. And I'm gonna mention to Scrag too, if he wants to come along on the RAV or the AV, or just have. Do you want me just to fly up there, or you want to come along?
I'll handle
Scrag.
things down here.
All right.
Also, I'm reaching into my pouch, sliding a grenade into my underbarrel real quick as I'm talking to you. How many people do I have, gangers and otherwise, ready to go?
Pretty much everybody here is armed, so you're looking in the region of 40, 50 people crammed into a relatively tight space. But everyone, like, they've paid attention to you, and they're clearly, if shit goes down while you're here, then they look like a good chunk of them will follow your direction, because no one's offering a better idea. But at the same time, each group seems to be making it. No one seems to be that invested in sticking around and fighting this out. It seems to be they're making their plans to leave, and they're doing so.
Okay, so I got a good chunk of people who will stick around. So I'll look at some of those people. Do any of them have any long-range weaponry, sniper rifles, etc.?
Sniper rifles, you don't see
Assault rifles.
anyone. Assault rifles, there are probably about, let's see. You can pick out 5 guys with assault rifles.
I'm going to point at each of them and say, hey, get on the roofs. Because there's
Now,
roofs
they
around
look,
the section that we're at, right?
There are roofs around, and it's absolutely a potential plan. The issue is that the 5 guys you just pointed at, 2 of them look clearly to be Yakuza henchmen, and they look to the older gentleman that they're escorting, who just shakes his head and walks away with them in tow. A couple of them do scramble up to this roof on the like east side, start going up there. They look like fairly sort of your rough street ganger types. They're not. The people who are responding to you are doing so more because they don't have strong leadership themselves. So at the same time, they're not the best examples of backup you could want. That's not to say they're worthless. They're just maybe not the most competent individuals.
That's okay. How many others do I have that look like they're going to stick around? And I'm assuming they have SMGs and pistols and things like that.
Not that many of them look like they're sticking around. Basically, the only reason that everyone isn't already gone is that there's lots of merchandise that the owners have to get packed up and leave with. There are only 2 real main exits. There are a couple of narrow alleyways, but no one seems to want to go down those. The main street exits, there's limited space, and no one wants to get too close because everyone is very jumpy. So they don't want to be shoving through each other and causing additional problems by fighting with just another group that happens to be there, tripping over each other. So it's almost like they're queuing in an orderly fashion to get out, like one group at a time is leaving, so that they're not rubbing up and causing that friction.
So lock on the radio. The plan is to get everyone out, not fight it out, right?
I'm going to see what's happening further down, but yeah, if we can get everybody out and then see what's going on further down. I mean, if they're targeting, the market and civilians, I'm going to try my best to discourage that. But yeah, we definitely need to make sure everybody gets out.
Okay.
But sounds like this merchant here is saying that he thinks this may not be the target here at the market. It may be further out, the civilians and the festival goers.
Which direction is the civilians and the festival goers? DM.
They are all around the area. So they're forming sort of a perimeter, and that was how the area is closed down without drawing too much attention. Whether the cops actually buy into the act or whether it's just a giving it a fake air of respectability so that they can have plausible deniability. This is how the market is covered up. So it's all around. But the gunfire is mainly coming from one direction at this point. Locke, at this point, Travis does. It took him. He wasn't immediately next to you guys, so he does touch down at this point in his AV4, and says, "Well, if you get in, get in."
So yeah. I'll jump in and what was that, Scrag?
I was gonna say, get eyes in the air. Tell me what's going on, and then you can clear a path for us to leave with all the merchants.
Yeah. All right. So it sounds good. I'm gonna jump in the AV and jump behind that big gun that he's got on the side there.
All right. So anybody who's still listening to me and hasn't been walked off by their leaders, I'm gonna tell them the situation. He's going up to clear us a path. Once we do, we're going to leave with all the merchants and get the hell out of here.
Everyone seems to sort of... You get a few nods and yeah, okay, man. And just general agreement. But it's like everyone's happy to go along with you for the moment because you're someone with a clear voice. But they're also very clearly just looking out for themselves, and you get the impression that as soon as anyone has an out for themselves, they will probably take it. You don't need human perception or anything to judge that. That's just how these people are. They are not invested in the situation. They're looking for a way out.
Yeah, which is what I'm trying to give them by him going up and telling us a way out, so that maybe next time they see me or us, they'll remember, oh shit, that was that dude that fucking took charge and got us out of there. All right.
It's a good call.
All right, Locke, get up there and tell me which direction's clear and we can get these merchants out of here.
Locke, do you want to give me a perception check? And I'll have Travis do the same while he's with you.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Not bad. So you can see that, yeah, it's a little strange that that gunfire that originally started and was getting closer, yeah, it doesn't seem, if they were going to get in with the amount of gunfire, you're not talking a military platoon level. There's a good amount of it, but not enough that you think they could just walk their way in here, not with the amount of guns you see around. So you're quickly agreeing with the assessment that maybe there's something else going on here. and they're not trying to get to the market itself.
Is there a direction that
it
looks relatively clear, like an exit, just to give Heil what he needs?
Yeah, it's still all out on the east side. So if you guys want to exit stage west, then that seems to be the way to go.
So I'll relay to Scrag. I'll just say that is it Heil or Scrag, man? I'm sorry.
Heil.
It's Heil,
Heil's
right?
the character
Okay.
name.
Sorry.
I don't know how to change the character name on the whatever. Anyway.
Yeah. So
we'll do it later. Don't worry.
And I'll say, all right. So looks like everybody's still on the east side. Looks like your west side is clear. I'm going to take a closer look with the AV, but looks like your way out west is clear for now.
All right.
And then I'll head out that to the east.
I'll go to the merchants. I'll shout, "Get ready to move west. Anybody who wants to stick around to help get civilians out, head east."
You notice a couple of groups now. That's very, very Yakuza-looking guy and his bodyguards, as well as one of the more underarmed street gangs. Both seem to immediately, when you say that, just head off straight west. You don't see anyone walking off east.
No, that's fine. I tell the merchants
They're
too.
very non-civic minded, these criminals.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, right? So I'll go to all the merchants and tell them to get their vehicles ready to head west as well.
Cool. Yeah. So everyone, at least they have you're gaining a little bit more respect from them now as well, just because you've, rather than just shouting at people, you've also provided useful information which can help save their hides, which is of utmost importance to these people.
All right. And now that I've relayed that information, Locke, has the situation changed, or are we still good west?
I mean, I started head off east, so I was just to see if there's people moving this way or what's happening. So if I'm still able to look, I will, but I may be somewhere else.
I mean, down. Travis does actually have some decent viewing equipment. He does have cameras facing all angles in this AV, so you can see on the rear view camera. It does still seem relatively quiet over west. Like there is movement in the streets over there, but it seems to be people moving over from the east and away from the market and going in that direction. You don't see any sign that anything's happening there, which could be, that could be entirely a double bluff. That could be people are walking into an ambush and they're about to get blown to shit, or it could just be everything's happening in the east.
All right.
I would say it looks clear for now, but
you're starting to notice that maybe part of the reason that there was a relatively low amount of fire in the east was causing so much attention and not being put down quickly. Is it seems to be, from the way it's, you can see the muzzle flashes and see the reactions of people running. You think it's being done from vehicles, so they're hitting somewhere and then moving along, and that's why they're not getting pinned down yet by any of Han's security forces.
If I'm watching,
because they're not staying still.
Does it look like they're hurting people a certain direction, or like are they kind of moving and then they would move down here and just try to funnel people a certain way, or is it kind of just random, like over here and then drive over here and just trying to avoid being caught?
Yeah, give me another perception check. just to see if you can divide either a perception or
No, I'll take perception.
there is some. Oh, yeah, perception will do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you realize that there's sort of three groups of these vehicles. It's not massive amounts of attackers. There are some motorbikes. There are some cars, a couple of vans, but not. This isn't. You're not facing an army here. What they are doing is trying to sow the maximum amount of chaos, and they seem to be converging on one particular spot. And with that perception roll, I'm going to say you noticed this spot as you came in, and you're a little bit horrified because the place that they're aiming for it's a playground. It's where there were a lot of children hanging around with various, there were vendors with food with ridiculous amounts of sugar content or sugar substitute content, and various. There's like a park there, and there were, for this time of night, there were loads and loads of kids out on the street, and you think that's where they're converging. And suddenly you see, you think, well, that's kind of, if you were going to fuck up someone's reputation, then yeah, shooting random people, that's going to hurt. Shooting a bunch of children, they're not going to come back from that.
Do you relay that information?
Yeah, I'll just say it looks like, they're kind of moving around. I don't think they're really trying to herd anybody anywhere, but it looks like they're coming in down on a children's play area or playground. And I'm going to try to see if I can discourage that with this AV.
All right. On my end, to anybody who's still within audible shouting distance, I'll shout, "They're after the fucking kids." And then just run, like sprint towards east, towards the playground.
You get running, and at this point, you set off, and then you realize that Salvo had just pulled up. He pulled up a few minutes ago because he was bringing the van to take you guys back, and before all this happened, and then the other guy were ready to come with you, so they're going to pick you up in. They will probably pick you up in about 20 seconds.
Okay. I'm still going to be running.
So, yeah, you're running down the street, and they essentially drive past, slow down a little, and open the side door so you can dive in.
All right, I hop in, grab a hold of the oh shit bar, and I'm just kind of hanging out the side of the van with my gun ready to like hop out at any second. Is any of the gang or criminal people following?
There were a couple coming, but they don't run as fast as you.
Okay, well wait.
So,
I'll just motion to them, hurry the fuck up.
Yeah, it's actually a couple of the. You're, without stereotyping, you're thinking that they're probably members of some form of organized crime gang. A couple of gentlemen of Asian persuasion, wearing suits and carrying heavy SMGs, who catch up and jump in with you.
I'll help them in, and I'll just like beat on the door. I'm like, let's go.
You haul ass over there. And so while you're doing that, Locke, what would you like to do? You think you've accurately judged where these guys are heading to, but there are three sort of groups of the vehicles. Are you going to wait and catch them all where they're planning on converging, or are you going to try and interfere? You can move faster than anything else around here. You're the only AV that you can see in the area, and so you don't have to bother with little things like streets and traffic.
I will. Does it look like people are trying to leave that children's area? I mean, they've heard the gunshots and stuff, and everyone's trying to run away, or are they just like hanging out because nobody knows what's going on? Like, what's?
Well, if you get closer, because you weren't in sight of the play area, but you worked with your amazing perception check. You realized you'd spotted it on your way in, and you sort of judged there. You did a little Sherlock Holmes beautiful mind type calculation and calculated the vectors and went, oh shit, that's where they're all going, and
so
realized the potential shitstorm.
So I'm going to head over that to that direction and just see what's going on there. So like if people are there or not, if they're moving, and then I think that's also a good place to catch them as they come in. But if I happen to be passing one of these vehicles, as like if there's a route that we could take that would pass one of these vehicles, I'll see if Travis can kind of skim by there, and we'll take a few shots on our way.
You don't have to alter your path much to intercept at least one of these groups. One is pretty much between you and the park. So absolutely. Give me a heavy weapons check.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Right. Okay. So you Travis warns you that this group is coming up. He lowers the AV to just above rooftop level, and then sort of jinks it sideways, pops out from the cover of the tower block that you're hiding behind. Right up behind and about 70 feet above this van, flanked by two motorcycles, and there are the guys on the motorcycles are wearing bike leathers. They've got what look like katanas sheathed across their backs, and they've got SMGs, and you can see pistols at their side, but they've got SMGs, and they're just firing around. They don't seem to be like they're aiming for people where they can, but they're just more interested in putting volume of fire down and causing havoc. You pop out, and I'm not even gonna make this play out with a roll like that. You literally just bring that minigun to bear, unload into the back of the van, and that the rear axles and tires of the van are just shredded. The entire it's like you cut off, you just slice off a section of the vehicle, and the entire thing dumps down and then just flips over onto its side, and it takes out both of the motorcycles at the same time.
Nice.
Travis doesn't stop, but as you're leaving, you don't even see the movement of like people crawling away from the wreckage. That was extremely efficient death from above.
That's the way we like it. Nice.
It's nice when the dice give you a nice moment like that.
Yeah, I'm just getting this like picture of like in the Matrix or whatever when Neo is like pulling up in the helicopter with the Gatling gun, and just like opens up and like mows down like all the agents and stuff. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it's just that thing spits out rounds so fast. It's a joy to use, and it cut through it like it would be a knife through butter if you'd ever had butter. It's
Yeah, because there is no butter.
like a hot knife through soy style replacement vitamin enriched spread type material. TM. Yeah, that group is wiped out. So when you get there, you will not have to contend with them at all. They are, if anyone survived from it, they're in no state to come after you.
Sweet. So we'll continue on.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll relay that to Heil, and I'll let him know that I took care of. There's one group down. Looks like there's 2 more coming, and I'll relay the directions that they're coming from. And I'm not sure if he's able to. I'll try to give some kind of direction, like if there's one that's close to where he's at, if he can come in behind from them, like head west on Broad Street or whatever it is and you should come up on one in a few blocks or something like that. Try to give them some kind of direction.
Heil, you get a ping on your agents.
All right. I'll look at it.
It's an incoming call from Sam.
Sam.
The weapons vendor.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll take it.
You take it? Where you up to, boy?
We're going to go get these kids out of here. There's a bunch of gangers attacking the playground to the east.
Right. Well, I've just been told that Sally is out there in the festival.
Oh, shit. And that's
Now,
nearby the playground or no?
You're going to have to make a detour.
All right.
We can both make out of this well, but if Han's niece dies, nobody gets paid, everybody dies.
All right. I'll kind of turn and look at the 2 Yakuza guys, and I'll explain the situation. Hey, boss's niece is in the fray. We need to go get her first. You guys can go help the kids if you want. I got to go deal with this. What are they?
They look to one another, and then one turns to you and says, your boss, Mrs. Han.
Yeah.
Very well. We do this.
All right.
We will take care of her blood.
All right. Let's get it then. The AV just took out, he relayed that he took out a group, right?
Yeah.
The AV just took out one group of the gangers that are attacking the kids. There's only 2 more. Maybe they can handle this while we handle this. All right. Okay, Sam, I'm listening. Where are we going?
Okay. I'm not speaking to her. I'm speaking to Juliet, who's speaking to her. It's a fucking mess. Communications is a bitch. But if you where are you at? I presume you give him the whatever intersection you're at. Okay, let me look it up. You're nearly on top of her. Okay, you do hang a left, and she is
driving.
Yeah, Salvo just does a left. Get to the end of that block. She's in the back room of the bodega there.
Okay, I'll tell Salvo, get to the bodega. I'll kind of point it out.
He floors it for 1 whole block, as much as he can. And neatly avoids a a family that run across the road fleeing from the nearby gunfire. That could have been horrible. So this family, presumably family, like a woman with 2 children, just run out from an alleyway and straight across the road. But Salvo doesn't even have to slow down. He just pulls off and dodges around them, which is difficult to do in a van this size. Comes screeching to a halt outside the bodega.
All right. I hop out, kind of motion to the 2 Yakuza guys, pull up at a ready stance, and I'm walking as quickly as I can without running into the bodega.
You walk in there. Give me a perception check.
If I can find it. There it is. Oof. It's the best it could have been on a crit fail.
So you walk into the bodega. It looks quite looks deserted in here. You can't see anybody. You can see there's old man behind the counter. Looks to be, maybe he's got a sort of Italian look about him. Maybe he's in his 80s, which is relatively unusual. So he's clearly had a quiet life to make it this far.
All right.
And he looks at you and gives you you come in, I presume, rifle up.
Yeah. Not pointed at anyone in particular, but just kind of in the room.
Yeah, just sort of low ready. Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of look at the old man. She here?
He looks at you and he says, "Oh yes, in the back."
All right.
And he motions towards you. Can see a door marked staff only.
Okay. I'll turn to the Yakuza guys. I'll tell them guard the door. I'll be right back.
Okay. So you make your way towards the door, and then well, there's good news and bad news. As you're making your way towards the door, as you pass one of the aisles, a stream of bullets rips past you and shreds boxes of cereal, kibble, bottles of various types of moonshine and things just explode next to you as a burst of automatic fire goes into the stock rather than you. Unfortunately, the second one, not so lucky.
All right, so we're looking at a dodge here, or?
Unfortunately not, since you weren't aware that they were there.
Okay.
Then you have no opportunity to avoid it.
Okay.
Which is why this could suck. Okay, that's not too bad. So you take 24 points of damage, but there's no critical or anything.
So 13.
Yeah.
So you're wearing armor.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. If you weren't wearing armor, that would have been a lot more serious.
Yeah. All right.
So yeah, there are 2 guys in. They have your look of. It's that sort of operator look, the generic camo, sort of like urban camo pants, t-shirts, tack vests, and then they're carrying heavy SMGs, and they were crouched, they were hidden at the top of the aisle, and they were just waiting for as you came in. They obviously noticed you. You didn't notice them, and they were poised to spring an ambush and take you out before you could even respond. They didn't quite manage it. So give me some
there's
initiative,
only 2 of
please.
them?
There's only 2 of them.
Oh, they fucked up. All right.
Yeah.
Let me see initiative.
It could be a lot worse. The one who missed because he was aiming for your head. The one who went for center mass hit you.
And these are guys not on our side, obviously, right?
Yeah, it seems so.
Okay. Well, I rolled.
I mean, I normally call anyone who shoots me not on my side. It's maybe I'm picky. Okay, so looks like you are going before one of them. So one of them takes aim, and the guy who hit you last time. Hang on. Yeah, he not only misses, he actually, let's see. They set up this crossfire in such a hurry that they're staggered. One of them is because there are multiple parts of the aisle, and one is one section further down than the other. And this guy misses so badly that he actually plants a couple of rounds into his buddy, the back of his buddy's tack vest.
Oh no!
He doesn't seem to take any damage, but he's not happy about the situation.
How far away from me are both of these guys?
This place is not big. You're looking the closest one maybe about 8 meters. Next one 12.
Okay, give me 1 sec. Let me see here. Assault rifle, 8 meters, huh? Okay. Well, I'm gonna turn to the one who's now shot at me twice. I assume it's my turn now, right?
It is.
Okay. I'm going to walk over to him, or briskly move over to him, because he's only 8 meters away, right?
Well, he's 12 meters away. He just shot his buddy in the back, who's the one who's closer to you.
Okay. Well, then I guess I'm going to. I'm going to go to his buddy who's 8 meters away. And I'm going to not even give him the decency of shooting him.
He deserves no decency.
So I did a brawling attack first and then a martial arts attack. So I'm pretty sure that first one's going to hit. That's versus evasion. And the second one is versus evasion as well.
Oh yeah, it's their reflex doesn't matter because it's close combat. You land both of those.
Oh, perfect. I'm going to roll damage for those real quick. Let me double check what it is. Should be 3d6 for each. So that's for the brawling attack. And then that's for the martial arts attack. And then I'm going to use Aikido disarming combination to grab his gun from him after I beat the crap out of him.
Nice.
Very nice. Okay. Yep. So you plant this guy hard, and you've got. So the first one is martial arts, so that halves his armor for that one.
Hmm. The first one was brawling.
And then
Martial arts.
oh, sorry, the first one's brawling, the second one's martial arts. Okay. So the first one doesn't seem to do much. You plant an elbow squarely into his plate carrier, and that's it. It does seem to like wind him slightly, but no real serious damage. The second one, yeah, that's gonna hurt. So, yep, he is. You have control of his weapon.
And what kind of weapon is it?
It's an SMG, a light SMG.
Okay. All right. Well, that's my turn for now. I can't really do anything else at the moment, but
Okay. So his buddy is a bit apprehensive about what to do. He's already shot his friend in the back. Well, I don't know if they're friends anymore, really.
yeah.
Let's see. But he doesn't want to come close to you, so he lets loose another burst, and it again. This one, he's trying to, because you take the wind out of your opponent, so he sort of doubled over a bit. So he aims high, tries to go for head height, straight over. Like the burst just scatters against the back wall, smashes one of those convex mirrors that they have in the corners, so that they can see down the aisles and see people shoplifting sweets and whatever. So yeah. Completely misses, and then he thinks about his situation, and he decides to move. He doesn't come straight towards you. He steps to the next aisle across, and then he's coming down that aisle. Like he's not concealed; you can sort of see him past the shelves, but he's kind of hanging his friend out to dry, making sure that you continue concentrating on him.
Okay. Well, is the guy in front of me unconscious? The one that I just beat the crap out of?
He's not unconscious. He's still alive and kicking.
Okay. Well,
and in fact, it's his turn now. Let's see if he can retaliate, because he has no gun now.
yeah, that was kind of the point.
Keto is a good skill, man.
Yeah.
I didn't really think about that. The advantage of just basically disarming everybody. It's nice.
Yeah. So he seems to have like a level of training. So he makes 2 swings at you. You don't think that his training's up to yours, so give me 2 evasion rolls, please.
Just did.
Nice.
Yep. Both of them just sail past. He like, because he's in his doubled over position, he drops a little bit lower and aims a blow at your kneecap, but it just goes straight past. You see it telegraphed a mile off, and then he tries to come up with an uppercut to get himself back into standing position, and again you see it long before he actually gets it there. So yeah, you sidestep everything. It's round to you, good buddy.
All right, so now that he's in a compromised position as far as his martial arts or a brawling, I'm going to do an instep on him onto the inside of his thigh, and I'm going to plant a palm into his chin. And as I do that, I will attempt to put the my other arm into his rib cage, where the spleen, or where the what's on the right side of your body.
Appendix or
I'm
something?
gonna try to burst his appendix with a punch.
Cruel. I love it.
Those are 2 martial arts attacks, by the way.
Yep, I presumed. Okay. He actually gets out of the way of the second one of them. So just give me 1 damage roll. Okay. So this time, this guy is not heavily armored. They're wearing it's basically just the sort of like mini plate carrier that covers the chest, just that little kill zone. And so you're putting all your strikes around it, and you plant that one into aiming for his appendix, and you don't know whether you got it, but you definitely felt something burst as your knuckles connected, and he just crumples to the floor. He's not technically unconscious, but he's bleeding and whimpering and does not seem to be making any moves any further.
All right. Then I will look for his buddy with my movement. I'll move towards where I thought his buddy went.
Yeah, his buddy is cutting down the aisle next to you, so you're about to. You can clear that ground for him if you want.
Yeah, I will. I'll get right up in his face, if I can, or behind him, whichever.
You absolutely do. He thought he was going to come in behind you. He was planning on his friend lasting longer and maybe getting the advantage that way. So he's a little shocked when you come out, and he's got a nasty looking sort of tactical machete thing in hand, but he was clearly planning on planting that in your back rather than having to go toe to toe with you. So he makes a couple of wild swings. Ooh, one of them's quite good. Evasion checks, please. Yeah, his second one actually does connect with you.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah, but that's not going through anywhere. So his first one is just wild at your head and doesn't get anywhere, and then he cuts it back quicker than you were expecting, and he goes straight for center mass. But because it's at he turned it to such an odd angle in order to get it under your defenses, then there's no power behind the blow whatsoever, and it just skitters across your armor and your magazines that you've got there, and yeah, there's no damage.
Okay.
I'm presuming that 5 points does not break your armor.
No. Nope. Back to me.
Cool. Back to you. It's 1-on-1 now.
Brawling, martial arts. Let me know if those hit.
Your martial arts attack hits. Your brawling does not, unfortunately.
Okay.
So, let's see. Give me some damage. Ooh. Yeah. Even though you only hit with the one blow, it's very, very effective. So this guy, you slam your elbow straight into his throat, and he's like clutching at it. You just about managed to avoid actually breaking his windpipe, but it clearly took something out of him. He tries to come back at you. Give me those evasion checks. He might have a chance. He does not have a chance. Yeah, he's swinging. He's getting more desperate now. He's not maybe he's not paying proper attention. He's clearly realized he's outmatched and keeps like looking over his shoulder. He's looking for a way out. And with that ineffectiveness, he then makes a break for the door. And as he does so, gets absolutely shredded by a barrage of SMG bullets from the Yakuza guys who were... everyone who was in the van was piling out as soon as they heard gunfire in there with you. And he's just runs to the door, opens it, and gets Swiss cheesed.
All right.
And then the corpse falls backwards and the door...
I'll go back to the first
closes.
guy. And because he's still conscious, right?
He's still... I'm going to say he's still conscious, yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna grab him.
He's not capable of doing anything really, but he's still conscious.
I'm gonna grab him by his hair, and I'm going to ask him who he works for.
Who does number 2 work for? No.
As I thumb his appendix that I've probably burst.
Oh boy.
Oof. Give me a... It's torture skill?
Interrogation.
I feel like it is. Interrogation, same difference.
Yeah, I just rolled interrogation.
Oh, nice.
Okay, yeah. That's this guy is... He's in a bad way. He recognizes he's in a vulnerable position, and he's not he's not giving his life up for a paycheck. He said, "Look, man, we got the ping. We took the job off a message board, and we came. It was good money."
All right. Do you know who posted the job?
Who knows, man? It's a solo fortune message board. It's just, guys post up jobs and you take them, and everything's held in escrow, and you don't question it, and you get paid.
All right. Well,
come on, dude. I'm just like you. I'm just looking for a paycheck. I got 6 kids to feed, and I mean, you can give me the human perception if you want to see whether you buy his bullshit about having 6 kids. You don't have to if you don't care.
I just did. Perception. Human perception.
Yeah. Yeah. He's openly weeping, but you don't think that you don't buy his kid's story. You think he's openly weeping for his life. There's probably a reason that this guy's taking random jobs off the equivalent of mercenary Craigslist.
All right. Well, I'll kind of look him straight in the face with like a dead stare. Well, maybe your 6 kids will grow up better once their mother finds them a better father.
Oh boy.
Whoa, dude, that's just like, that's really not cool.
I already
Like,
attacked
why?
martial arts attacks.
Okay, I'm gonna say in his condition he cannot even try and dodge that. So yeah, you put him down. How do you
Execute
end
this
the
poor man.
life of this poor struggling person who was just trying to tell you that actually he thought it was a bit presumptuous that actually he's in a same-sex partnership? really he was a bit offended by that. You assuming that it was a mother the kids were being left with, but
Well, whatever. Who cares? I punched him in the temple twice as hard as I could.
You just slam, and that knuckle drives through. You can feel the crunch of bone and the squishing of the you shatter the side of his face, and he is gone. If he ever returns to his family, whatever state it may be, then he's not having an open casket funeral.
Cool. All right, I'm gonna go get fucking Sally now. Or Susie. Was it Susie or Sally?
Sally. Just remember that thanks to chat, thank you chat, the bar makes it easy to remember because it is now named Sally's Alley.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. So, yep, you're still that door is still closed, and the as you get to the end of the aisle, then you notice the owner is like cowered behind the counter of the bodega.
All right, get the door open. We're getting her out of here.
He says, "Is open."
Whatever. Just stay there. I'll open the door.
Not.
What?
So he just nods feverishly and motions that you can go open the door.
All right, so I open the door.
Okay. Give me a what's your look?
My look is as far as cool. Oh, my luck 3.
Okay, give me an evasion check.
Jesus Christ.
Oh dear. Yep. Take 15 points as a high caliber pistol round plants itself. I cannot believe you took that much damage, and it's not a critical.
Well, I had
Yeah,
armor.
a high caliber pistol round hits you square center mass.
From where? From behind the door?
From the as you open the door, then from the darkness within comes a shot, and then suddenly you hear, "Oh my god!" and Sally walks up with pistol held in hand, like, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. Are you okay?
Fine. Let's get out. Kind of cough up some blood from the broken rib I'm pretty sure she just caused.
Yeah, that was maybe. Did she just do more to you than the 2 mercs did between them?
She only did 5 because I still had armor.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. I was really worried there. I thought that's an unusually good roll, but at least it wasn't a critical, so we're all good.
Yeah, no, she did like
Right.
less than half of what they did.
Yeah, she looks really sheepish and sort of heads out, like head bowed, really apologetic. And then as she's going past, she nods to the owner. Thanks, Michelle. And she goes to the door,
As we
opens it. The little bell tinkles.
As we head to the van and I'm putting Sally in the van, I'm just gonna kind of like gruffly like growl to her like, "You're buying dinner for a week."
Okay. I'm so sorry. I didn't.
And
Screw
then
you! You should have knocked.
I'm not even going to dignify that with a response. I'm just going to put her in the back of the van.
Yeah, she gets in the van with everybody, and you head off towards the playground, I presume.
Well, I want to get
now,
her out of here.
Okay.
I'll tell the Yakuza guys I have to get her out of here. You can thank you so much for your help. You can either choose to come with us, or you can go help at the playground, or you can just get out of here. We can give you a ride if you want to get out of here.
Thank you. We will accompany you and Mrs. Hahn's lovely niece.
All right, we can get in. Let's go.
Okay, cool. Now, Locke, stuff has been happening in the meantime, but just before we cut back to you, does anyone want a quick? Because this is not going to be the longest session tonight, since we are, as chat have noted, we're down a few players, so I don't want to go like 6 hours with just putting it all on 2 characters. So if people want to take 5 minutes and grab a drink and come back before we cut to what's going on in the playground, that sound okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be fine. Also, for some reason, my camera just something's going on. I'm not really sure what it is, but something weird.
Well, Twitch is being weird tonight as well. I've been unable to post anything most of the time in the chat because it keeps telling me that I'm posting too quickly, which is nonsense. Twitch thinks I'm a spammer. Right, okay. So, yep, we'll be back with you guys in 5. See you shortly.
Cool.
Uh-oh. Forge is busting out the liquor.
What can I say? My GMing has that effect on people.
That could be good or bad. He's either celebrating because you're doing a good job, or he's got to drink his way through your GMing.
Well, I've turned to alcohol as well, so make your own judgment.
Uh-oh. What time is it where you're at? It's much later, right? You're 8 hours ahead, right?
Oh yeah, it's 7:15 at night here.
Oh, shit. What time zone is Forge in? You know?
I don't think he's too far from you. I think he's within a couple of hours.
All right, I'm back.
Welcome back.
It's freaking cold outside. It's snowing. We don't get snow here very often. It's pretty cool.
Damn, I thought it was cold here.
Yeah, it's let me check the weather.
It's been kind of chilly here in LA, but not even close to snow, though.
We've been having snow on and off for the last few weeks.
It's 18 degrees, and it's going to go down to 12 by 2 a.m.
Oh, wow.
Tomorrow, it's going to be 9 at noon.
I don't even know what that is in grown-up measurements.
Oh, you mean in fake measurements? Just kidding.
No, in genuine, sensible measurements, yeah.
No, that's made up numbers. That's -8 right now, and -12 tomorrow, -13. In Celsius.
Yeah, we've had a lot of snow the past few weeks, and I'm okay with it. It's a pain because it means it's really difficult to go running. I don't mind running in snow. I mind when there are hidden patches of ice under the snow, and then you pull or risk breaking things.
Yeah.
But the dog loves it.
Yeah, I bet, dude. I don't run. My legs are screwed up from the military. I got shin splints pretty bad, and I messed up my ankle one time. But I ride bikes sometimes. There's a nice bike path that goes like 14 miles, or let me look that up in kilometers for you.
That's cool. I can do that one.
It goes 22 kilometers down to the lake, and then the lake is 10 kilometers around, and then I come back 22 kilometers. So it's a pretty good bike ride. I have to answer a phone call real quick. One sec.
Yeah, I'll take this moment during the break to mention anybody in chat or watching the VOD on the YouTube. We started up on the Cyberpunk Uncensored Discord, not only putting together custom scream sheets for GMs to use, which, if you're a writer, you have ideas to contribute, fake ads, all that stuff. Look for the scream sheet channel on the Cyberpunk Uncensored Discord and hit up Ferris Bueller, who's PWB here in the Twitch chat with us. But yeah, we got a bunch of assets, got the scream sheets, and we also started a channel to showcase writers, just like we've been doing, showcasing game masters and trying to connect players and GMs to get more gameplay opportunities going. We started showcasing cyberpunk writers. So if you're a creative writer out there, short stories, long form, quick blurbs, anything for the scream sheets, or just novel form, whatever you like. If it's cyberpunk, we'd love to showcase you. We have writers category and channels. We're also, I started on the Patreon for the dollar support, just for the good karma. If you're a writer, I'll showcase you with your own channel on the Cyberpunk Discord, where you can post your talents in your writing, and people can, see it and check it out and stuff.
Yeah, I need to find myself 2 free minutes and actually do some of that writing.
Yeah, that's why I love showcasing these other people more. I'm the same way with making all these fucking crash course tutorial videos and interviews and new series, and then all the gameplay, and on top of normal life stuff, running my businesses and filmmaking and all the other shit I do. It's difficult, but it's awesome when there's a whole community of talented people that can contribute their ideas and cool assets and resources and all that stuff, and then I can use those scream sheets and give them credit and promote it, and I don't have to write out and work on that. I can lean on other people in the community that have better talent with that than me. It's really cool.
Building your network up, man. It's the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm hoping. Like I said, from day one with Cyberpunk Uncensored, it's like, we have multiple GMs, all the resources and videos and stuff. Like, I'm hoping we can just keep expanding this way and just make it something really cool,
Cool.
Is Scrag back? Is he on the phone?
Yeah, I'm back. I'm sorry. I had to answer the phone real quick.
Yeah, no problem. Here, we'll get you guys back live. All right, everyone can see you. You're back.
And welcome back. So we've just picked up Sally. That went down relatively hitch-free. Some minor friendly fire incidents aside, everyone who needs to still be alive is still alive, so that's a good thing. Now we come back to Locke. You are with Travis. You'd already picked off one of these groups of converging troublemakers with incredible ease, some fantastic trick shot style shooting there. And you were still able, because you handled that so quickly, you're able to, you crest over the rooftops by this park that you're aiming for before the next group gets there. Just as they're about to, you can hear the sporadic fire coming closer down the street. They're going to be on you any second, but you're there first.
Right, so I'm gonna ready my action, ready a action to open fire as soon as they round around the corner.
Absolutely. Now I'm going to put a map up. Now this place, much like the actual market itself, this place was full of people. In this case, I didn't want to put markers out for individual people, just because a lot of the people here are children. So, I'm not saying that if things go badly, it would be in any way depressing to see a bunch of little child tokens getting red X's slapped over them. But,
I wonder when we start flirting with TOS here about children getting mutilated.
Yeah, this is why I avoided any tokens, and we're just gonna, you should see the map any second now. I think I've moved you over to it, and we're just gonna imagine there is a scene in front of you, but we're not gonna dwell on who is populating that scene. Okay, so you guys pop in from this corner over here, this top left corner. In fact, I'll pop your token on the map, even though you're up in the air. Just gives you a frame of reference.
Twitch chat's being mean right now. They're saying we should let the kids play with grenades.
Now, I'm not saying that doesn't match my general outlook on children, but again, we're broadcasting here. We have to be nice.
All right. So I guess this is still happening while what I did before is happening. So I won't have time to message him just yet on the radio.
Yeah, this is what happens as you're entering the bodega.
Cool.
So this is the playground area. So I know which directions the other two cars are coming from.
Yeah, so you're in. I've just put your token down for reference. That's the corner that you're approaching from. Travis comes over in the AV and he's sort of hovering at that corner, waiting until you have a target. He's following your direction, and he has a handy screen showing readouts and showing the cost of the ammunition you've used up.
All right. I'm going to ask him if he has any smoke grenades in here for providing cover while he does landings.
Let's see, because I'll
like
be
something
honest,
he might have.
that's
Coming in hot,
yeah,
throwing
that's
down
not.
some smoke grenades.
Yeah, that's not something that me as a GM. That's not something I had considered. So I'm going to see whether Travis had. Yes, he does.
So I'm gonna. So this comes to mind when I'm kind of getting ready to lay down, and since I'm way up high, I'm thinking I can pretty easily maneuver around the smoke to get firing angles as I need to. So I'm going to throw down some smoke grenades at the entrance way into the playground, so that you can't really see into the playground very easily, but I can easily just kind of hover around the outskirts and just do whatever I need to do.
Yep, sounds solid. I mean, that the rapidly approaching opposition forces are coming in. They'll be coming in at the opposite corner to you, so like bottom right.
Okay, so I'm going to throw, drop a couple smoke grenades down at the bottom right area entrance to this, so they can't really see into the playground. Hopefully, or at least make it obscured, covered, hard for them to kind of see what they're driving into.
Cool, you can absolutely do that, and you hear the easiest thing. Rather than expecting you to aim, you explain this to Travis, and he just shoots the AV over to this side, and you drop them straight down. Rather than you having to do any sort of aiming. And the canisters, it's that much of a drop that they don't really disperse properly because they rupture on impact, and all of the material is just explodes out at once. So this end of the street is fairly well covered in smoke. There's a heavy cloud they're going to have to come through here. But from your vantage point above, you should have a good shot. Give me a perception check, because you can hear that gunfire getting close. You know that they must be just around the corner. Let's see who sees who first.
All right.
And you've got Travis with you as well. Okay. So round this corner, through the smoke, what you didn't realize is, because last time you saw these groups, they were all mounted in various vehicles. They had cars, vans, a couple of motorbikes, but through the smoke emerge a couple of people on foot. Let's get them over here. Okay. So you were looking for vehicles. You and Travis were unfortunately looking out for vehicles. So as it happens, they burst through the smoke, and you're not at a disadvantage, but you don't get any sort of
Raid action or
surprise
whatever.
advantage on them because they spotted the AV hanging up there before you realised that they were coming through, just because they're on foot, and you were listening for engines and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, these guys come. 5 guys quite heavily armored up. Like these aren't the same lightly covered sort of, let's not say pieces of average street trash, but yeah, that Heil just dealt with. These guys look like they seriously mean business. You think you're fairly secure in your assessment that this was their real target. They want to cause serious civilian damage, and you notice them because as they start coming to the edge of the cloud, then suddenly there are muzzle flashes and there's automatic fire going off. They're currently in the smoke cloud, so they're not the most effective from where they are. You don't see many people actually taking hits, but it's a
Everyone's
big
running.
crowd here.
I was seeing once I started dropping smoke grenades out that people were starting to disperse. And I don't want to retcon anything, but if I'm dropping smoke grenades and everyone's just sitting there looking at me, I'm probably going to fire off a couple rounds of my pistol just to get people to scatter. But
people were trying to. The problem is no one knows where to head to because they've recently heard minigun fire from the next block over, and they can hear gunfire over in the other direction as well. So they're sort of milling around, and some people are individually heading off, but they're heading in different directions. And there's probably a lot of people who, there is gunfire between here and where they live. And they maybe wanted to wait and see what happened, because people don't generally think that a park is a potential target. Whatever's going on, they were probably hoping it didn't involve them and they could just wait it out. But they're in it now. So let's get initiative from you.
Let's see.
Travis is not going quickly. Oh, actually, he's piloting, so he goes to the top of the initiative anyway, so that doesn't matter.
Is it under actions? Is that? Yeah, there it is. Okay, I found it.
Okay. So Travis, as he's in full-on chauffeur mode, sees these muzzle flashes and a couple of people going down, but no one seeming to. It seems to be random spread at the minute, so no one seems mortally wounded yet. But he sees these guys, and he is going to. What would you be planning on doing? Are you planning on using the door gun? Is that your first avenue?
I mean, I don't really. It's the most. Unless I see something else in here, like, do we have like a fucking missile launcher or anything? Like, but I'm assuming this is the best choice that I have. But I guess maybe can you tell me what he has in the back of his AV?
Apart from the door gun is really the big thing. There are a couple of he's got up in his cockpit. You see, he's got a shotgun, the very nice shotgun, and a heavy SMG. But back there, it's really the door guns are the only passenger accessible weapons that you can see on display. Almost as if Travis does his checks and doesn't work with people lightly, but you notice that the door guns have been slightly modified in that they don't have the full rotation that they should. He's accounting for stupid passengers, the equivalent of the limo ride full of drunk hen party people, and the guns can't actually. They've got a good field of fire, but they're locked out, so they can't actually target the vehicle itself or within the vehicle.
Yeah. Okay.
They're idiot proofed. So yeah, the gun is probably the primary thing. It was just I didn't want to make assumptions, and I presume you shared whatever you were planning with Travis. So with that in mind, he's going to. Okay. So he makes his pilot check, and what he does is he's going to bring the AV around down to this point down here, because he's seen that you've spotted. So he's going to bring it down here, and he's going to vector the end. He does it in sort of an arc. Let's see, can I just draw it out easier than describing it? So he just does a little arc, a little horseshoe shape here, and the entire point is to bring you into a good firing position. But when he does it, he vectors the engines down towards these guys that are in the smoke, so that it suddenly clears the smoke at the optimal point of firing for you. So you get a +3 on your check when you come to firing.
Nice.
Because he just gives you that advantage.
I could
puts
use it.
them a little off balance and clears the view for you.
All right.
They will, however, be taking their shots at you first. Let's see. So 2 of them are going to. One is going to try for Travis, and one's going to try for you. The one shooting Travis isn't going anywhere. The one firing at you, do you have Reflex 8?
Yeah. I do.
Give me an evasion check then, please.
All right.
Because you're in a pretty good range for their assault rifles, so they're taking cold shots to target you rather than the vehicle.
I'm looking for evasion. There it is. Nice.
Oh yeah. So Travis actually, just jinks the AV sideways to avoid the fire that's leveled at him. But you see it coming, and you duck down. You hit the deck basically, and the fire passes straight through the open door and out the opposite side open door. There's not so much as a scratch on the vehicle. The other 3 are aiming for the AV. Okay. And 2 of them do land some shots. Okay, so they're landing some shots. There are AR rounds sort of pinging off the vehicle. Now, unlike his ground car, this is not that. There is some armor on the AV. It's not really heavy, just because adding armor to a flying vehicle is an expensive proposition.
Right. I would think
so
they would also probably bring they probably don't have armor piercing rounds or firing into crowds of people, I would imagine, right?
It's not
like AR rounds
it's not AP rounds, and they're not doing massive amounts of damage, but there is the vehicle is sustaining damage, and if it's not dealt with quickly, then it will build up, and taking damage in a flying vehicle can quickly become a problem. So you may want to do something about that, and it's your turn to do it.
So I guess I'm going to say to Travis, I'm going to try to hold these guys off as long as we can, until these kids get out of here. But if shit gets bad, let me know, and I can try to, fix something real quick. And so these guys are open in the street. They just don't have any cover. They're just kind of standing in the street, lined up side by side.
They were actually trying to take advantage of the smoke that you laid down, but then Travis kind of went and took that away from them. So I suppose they're out in the street.
So I don't know how those guns work, but can I just
and you can see that
just sweep across, and just put a wide range of like a cone shaped fire to try to hit as many as I can.
Yep, you can absolutely do that. So what we're going to do is we'll treat that as suppressive fire. So give me your heavy weapons roll,
right.
And we'll add that +3 to it for Travis's assistance.
Okay. So +3, 14.
Yep. Fortunately, these guys, with them being heavily armored, none of them are dodging. So you're right in the sweet spot. So that does actually land. So let's see. Okay. You sweep across with that door gun, and immediately you can see just how effective it was. So 3 of them go down immediately. You sort of sweep through the middle of them.
So as I'm gunning these guys down, I'm gonna do my best Will Smith impression from this really old movie that I saw called Independence Day. And I'm going to say, I have got to get me one of these. I'm going to mow everybody down.
They are fun toys. So let's see. Despite the utter evisceration of 2 of their friends, 3 of their friends, these 2 look like they're holding their ground.
Okay.
So Travis is up next. Are you going to give him any specific direction, or just wait and see what he does?
I would say, take evasive action best you can, but let's clear these guys out.
Can do. And these 2 fire back. Unfortunately, the only downside of that effectiveness is that they are intent on taking you down. So give me 2 evasion checks, please.
Yeah, I'm just talking with chat real quick. Down. All right, so evasion checks. Let's grab that. Way down at the bottom. 2 or just two checks, you said? Or 1?
2 checks. The 2 surviving ones are spotting you as the real threat on the vehicle. And you get out. You saw this coming. You knew that once you laid into them with that gun, then things were going to go badly. So again, you open up, and as those bodies hit the floor, you just crouch down back behind the bulkhead, and all their shots fly wide.
All right, I'm going to do something kind of stupid, and I'm going to tell Travis getting close, and I'm going to level the gun and just spin it and I'm going to say you have two choices. You can either leave in a body bag or you can run that direction. And I'm going to make a stare down or stand down check. And I'm going to blow 4 points of luck.
Do it.
Let's see.
Yep.
Where's that? What's that skill called? Face off or something? Or
Face down?
Face down. Okay, let me look at my sheet. Find it.
If it's not a button on the sheet, then you can just make it as I believe it's cool based. So you can give me 1d10 plus your cool, and then you add your reputation as well, which is something that actually, bad GM, I have not been updating. So we're going to say you have a reputation of 3 at this point.
Okay, so I'm going to roll face down. I'll go ahead and burn 5 points of luck. I'll burn all my luck on this. Or actually, I only have 4.
Okay.
So 4 points of luck. So it's a face down, and I haven't added that reputation. So we're going to add 7 to this, whatever this roll is here.
You can do it. Nice. Okay. With that,
oh my god,
these two guys look at each other, and in fact, give me a perception check, because you've had Travis basically pull down to street level so that you can shout this at them, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So give me a perception check.
All right.
They definitely look like they're going to run away, but see if you notice something else.
Perception.
Yeah, that'll do. You're close enough because you wanted to get in close for them to hear you. So yeah, they look like they're going to back off. Like it's not necessarily. These are not the same caliber of mercenaries that Heil met in the bodega. These guys seem to know what they're doing, so it's not necessarily fear, it's a calculation. They know they're outmatched.
A tactical move, yeah.
And yeah, it's this or die. And so they start moving off. They don't like turn around and run. They literally walk backwards. They do sort of pairs of movement. So one moves walking backwards while the other maintains a firing position on you. Then they swap and leapfrog that way. But as they start to move off, you hear one of them get on his radio and tell the other group. You hear him saying, "Situation is untenable. Do not approach. Repeat, do not approach the target. Mission is off." And in the distance, you hear the random gunfire that was getting closer from the third group just completely dies out. You
awesome.
scared them that much that they called off the entire thing.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That was a heroic roll, I think, with my luck. Boosted that up over 30, so it was like a 33
that was
or something.
Fucking impressive.
Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna get those rolls, that is the time to do it.
That's the time to do it. I'm gonna look. Was there anyone that was like hit with a stray bullet or anything from that engagement?
There are 4 people in various stages of. 2 are down and still moving, but they've been hit badly enough that they're not getting up of their own accord.
So
and there are 2 who you can see are sort of walking wounded and trying to get out of the area.
Yeah, so I'm going to come down on those 2 that have
and
been,
at this point, the van does also pull up from this west hand side. Sorry, Yeah, from the western edge.
Okay. So I'm gonna start I'm gonna ask Travis to pull down, and I'm gonna start loading those people who are like seriously injured into the AV. And I'm gonna shout if you want to ride to the hospital, hop in, and for those people who are kind of scrambling off, if they want to, they can make their own choice if they want to get in or not.
Let's see. The people who were still in a condition to move under their own power seem to carry on going. It's quite possible that a lot of people will, given the choice, if it's not immediately going to kill them, will choose let's say alternative healthcare providers rather than going to hospital.
Yeah,
because they can't afford it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can pick up, and Travis doesn't object. It's not, you're not going to get, this isn't Uber. You're not going to get cleaning fees added because the entire, the floor is fucking checker plate. Just hose it down.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll just start loading bodies in unless if Hyle's got anything to say, because they just pulled up, right?
Yep, you guys are all together again. So Hyle, you screech like Salvo has gunned it down. You were not that far away anyway. You're only about 2 blocks over, and you screech round to this playground, expecting serious combat to be ongoing, just in time to see a couple of sort of heavily armored figures disappearing, retreating into the distance, and being picked up in their own van. And the kit that they're wearing sort of matches the 3 guys who lie dead in the street. And this scene of Locke organizing a mini medevac.
All right. Well, we got Sally. We're gonna get out of here and go back to the base, I guess.
Yeah, I don't want to leave those bodies on the ground the guys we gunned down, because they probably got some decent equipment, but I also don't think this is something we want to dilly-dally on time. I think we just get what we need and get out, just as far as the bodies and Sally. So,
all right. What about the the AV? Who's riding in that? Like,
so
who's in it?
So I'm just gonna say, it's just right now. It's just me and Travis, and I'm bringing 2 people to get him to a Ripper Doc or some type of med mall or something like that to get some attention. But other than that, we're clear. Just me and him.
Cool. So let's swap. You take the van. I'll take Sally and the AV and the pilot, and then you use these guys to help out with like all the people who are in the van. I guess maybe not the Yakuza if they want to leave, but actually the Yakuza should probably come with me, just in case.
Yeah, the Yakuza have. It's been clear all the time that they've been with you that they are sort of there, not necessarily because they responded to you, but because they picked up on the fact that you are working either directly for or directed by Mrs. Han, and they want to be in her good graces.
Yeah, so I'll take them and Sally with me on the AV, and then you can use the van to get to stay here and collect equipment from these guys and bodies, and then we'll meet up.
Are you going to take the injured people with you to the hospital or something like that, to some kind of station? We want to make sure we don't have anyone. So can Trauma do a quick check just to see how badly injured they are? I mean, do they need to get to the hospital like now, or is that like?
Yeah,
doesn't do us any
good. Trauma looks them over, and one of them, although she looks pretty bad, Trauma says it's relatively superficial. Like it's the work of 20 seconds to sort of. Bleeding was the main issue. There's no major organs hit or anything. The other one, yeah, the other one is a guy in his 20s, and he says, "Yeah, this guy needs proper attention. Like I could do it, but not here."
I'll take him. I need to get Sally out of here though.
Okay, so why don't you go ahead and take him to the hospital, and then I'll grab the other guy there in a little bit. So while I'll have Trauma in the van doing what he can for the one that's just a flesh wound, and I'm gonna go over to those three bodies and just do a quick cursory check, looking for armor, weapons, things of valuable, also any kind of identification. I don't know if like they would have like their agents, like anything like that. I'm gonna pick up. And basically, I'm just gonna scrub them clean the best I can. If I notice anyone has like a cyber arm, um, well, just let me know what they got, and then we'll see. But I'm doing that while Trauma is kind of administering first aid to the people in the van.
Yep. You take a look over them, and they've all got some level of cyberization. We have, let's see, you got 2 pairs of arms, as it happens, which I will. I'll give you a list later. Rather than going through everything, I'll just give you a written list later of what modifications things have in. All of these guys have decent quality, not exceptional, but fully working, well-maintained assault rifles. They've got a couple of magazines of ammo each. They've got some nice. They're each carrying heavy pistol sidearms. Now they're not bearing any corpo insignia, but all of their gear matches. Like they're all wearing exactly the same armor. Their weapons are the same. There is no ID on them.
Do they have agents?
They do not. They have radios, but that's it.
Okay,
They have scrambled radios.
Okay, so I'll take one of the radios, take the guns, and then that one guy that has the arms, I'm going to load him in the back of the truck, of the van.
No, there are 2 pairs of arms between the 3 guys.
Oh, so I'll take those 2 guys and throw them in the. Yeah.
Okay, and give me another. I've asked for a lot of these, but I like them. Perception check, please, while you're checking them over. Okay, you realize that you were looking for identifying features, and although there's sort of there's a few different there's no ID on them, but there's a few different sort of scars, tattoos, and things, but they're all fairly commonplace things. One of the guys with the 2 cyber arms, you realize, has his entire torso is wrapped in a really, really ornately done white dragon tattoo.
Okay.
So most of these things wouldn't be noticeable. That's the sort of thing that fairly stands out, and maybe someone might be able to identify this person.
Is this one of the guys with the 2 cyber arms or somebody else?
This is one of the ones with the cyber arms.
Okay, so we'll take him. Yeah, so I'm going to load those bodies in, loaded the weapons in, and then we'll just take off. I got the guy with the tattoos.
Cool. Yep. You load up, head out, and you've not been going long, like maybe 20 seconds after dust off, before your agent goes, and it's your agent this time, Locke. And it's Sam.
Hey, Sam.
Well, boy, don't leave me in suspense. I
So
hear
we
ship
got-
went down. What was
Yeah,
it?
we got Sally out. She's currently being evac by our AV, and we managed to keep them from shooting up the playground area. So hopefully, Mrs. Han's reputation is in check. I have 2 people that are critical, that are headed to either Ripper Dock or hospital, just to make sure that they live through this. And there was a heavily armored tactical team who came in for a hit, and I persuaded them that it's not worth their time, I guess you could say. And I do happen to have a couple in my van that've been dispatched that may have some identifying features of who they are and who they're working for, in case Mrs. Han wants to dig into that more.
Well. You are just about as useful as I could have hoped.
Be a little bit more useful if I had something like, a mono, Kendachi Mono 3 on my back, whatever it's called.
Oh, you are a single-minded son of a bitch.
Yeah,
Tell
so
you what,
Mhm.
we got an unexpected situation here. Now, I know I've known Juliet for a long time. I could always do with a few more favors under my belt. So, if you're willing to present this situation as as it happened, so that you acted under my direction, then I think we could reach some accommodation. We had a situation today, and still, poor Betsy here didn't get to see any action. It's a sad thing to see a beautiful item go to waste. So, if you boys are willing to let me take the lead on this, then I think your little friend who wanted his special one-of-a-kind rifle sourcing, I think we could arrange that free of charge. And if you still want Betsy, I'll knock 50% off what I would have charged you. 3K, she yours. Now, does that sound fair to you? I think I'm a reasonable man.
I think it sounds pretty good, but I can't speak for my friend, although you make a pretty tempting offer. Let me get these guys to the hospital. I'll talk to Heil, and I'll give you a call back within 15 minutes with an answer. And we won't talk to Mrs. Han until we've concluded our business.
Very accommodating of you. I'll look forward to hearing from you very shortly. We're on the road now, but we'll be at our safe house in moments. I'll be waiting.
All right. So I'll call Heil.
Yep.
Hey, so Sam's put up a proposition. I was going to turn him down, but looks like there's something in it for the both of us. I guess you were looking for some specialized assault rifle. What was that? He's willing to throw that in and give you one of those rifles. He's also going to cut me a deal on something I've been looking for. But he wants credit for the direction of this evacuation. Now, obviously, we still took part, and I think Mrs. Hahn's still going to look favorably on that because we still did what we did. But he wants to take credit for directing it. Now, to me, I'm thinking, it's probably worth it for me to get my hands on that item I was looking for because it's kind of hard to come by. But I wanted to run this by you since you obviously took a large role in all of this as well. So Is that assault rifle worth losing the opportunity to take credit for this evac, or what do you think?
If you want to give me a human perception roll, then I can maybe give you a couple more specific, which may help in making that decision.
For me or for him?
Heil. Well, actually, both of you, because it could be, you know, if either of you sort of pick up on this, then it would help.
I mean, and I'll let you know, Heil, that I do have an alternate way of getting my hands on that. So it's going to cost me a lot more, but I can probably still get my hands on it if you want to go with our team taking the credit for it.
Well, he did coordinate the rescue of Sally, at least.
Absolutely, yeah. So we're giving up the initiative. I mean, you did still do the work, but as far as the direction and all that, we're going to give that to Sam for taking the initiative on that.
You got rolls.
Yeah.
I'm looking for
it. Well, that's enough from Heil. Let's see if Locke comes up any better. Okay. Well, Heil, that's enough that you get the impression, given what's just gone on, and I don't think you've been explicitly told the value, but given how interested Locke is in what he's offered, or what he's been offered, you are guessing that you will not just get, if you want to accept this offer, you will not just get a bog standard version of the gun that you're asking for. You reckon it will probably be a top of the line. Sam clearly has something in mind, so he's willing to pay significantly.
All right. Tell him AK-74 in all attachments, and I'm good. I'll take that.
All right. This
Silencer,
is
extended mags, everything.
So just give me a list of what it is. Tell Panda what you want, so that way, and I'm just gonna relay that to Sam. But I don't know what all that stuff is. So
as far as actual attachments, I mainly just want the in-game attachments that matter are silencer, extended mag. I don't want underbarrel, but or basically just load it out as far as it can be with in-game attachments.
Yeah.
Except I don't need it.
Basically, we'll handle it later. You can specify the full capacity of attachments that you want, attachments, modifications that you want, and it will have them.
Cool. Then I'm good with that, I guess.
All right. So I'll give him a call as we're on the way back, and I'll say, this deal sounds pretty good. I think we can do that. We'll let you take the credit for the initiative of this rescue mission. However, I do want it to be known, and I will make it known, that we were on our way to perform such activities, but you directed the organization of our efforts and took the lead on the mission. But I do want it clear to Mrs. Hahn that we were going to attempt a rescue mission. I still obviously want Chips to turn in with Mrs. Hahn, but as far as organization, coordinating the extract, is telling us the location of where Sally was so we can get her out. Coordinating the location of the children, even though that's something that we have found out. We can give you credit for that. So basically, you directed the whole operation. We are the ones that were eager to carry out, along with my Yakuza colleagues. And I just need you to make sure that you communicate that, and I will also be communicating that. So it'd be best if our stories line up.
Why, that sounds extremely agreeable. I'm glad that we gentlemen could come to such a mutually beneficial arrangement.
Excellent.
And with that, good day. And he ends the call there. You get the impression that he's eager to go and report his success to Mrs. Hahn.
All right.
But yes, including giving you absolutely full credit for the actions that you did. He just wants it. He was buying your agreement and avoid because he liked you guys, but he's only just met you, so he didn't want there to be any sort of clash of agendas where you tried to cut him out of any deal or credit that came.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we still did the work. So
Okay.
if he wants to take credit for orchestrating it, we're still the ones that did the work. So I'm fine with that.
Yeah, and you with that, you quite easily go and drop off your casualty for treatment. Yeah, Plague quite handily manages to keep him stable during the transport, so that's not a problem. And you can get back to the building. Even though you're in the AV, Salvo has basically ran every red light in order to get back as fast as possible. So you arrive almost at the same time between the AV and the hospital detour and the van. You all get back to the building. Everything is fine. Sally is in one piece.
When we're driving, I'm going to mention Heil over the radio and say, make sure that Sally gives Travis her account information to fit the bill for the service for today.
All right. I'll relay that information.
For her daring rescue.
All right, I'll relay that. That's no big deal. Also, have we dropped off the wounded yet at the hospital?
Yeah, they've been dropped off along the way. Plate kept them alive, and you got them there in plenty of time.
Cool. Sounds good.
And yes, you are not going to be covering the bill for any of Travis's services today. So that deposit that you gave him last time, you'll get handed back.
Okay.
Oh, great. So I think it was 250. So
yeah, I think you gave him 250 to start with.
Yeah, it was like 50 each or something like that.
Cool.
All right.
And with that, unless there's anything specific that you guys want to do to wrap up, that is the end of the action portion of today.
All right.
Okay. So are we going to kind of pick up back with talking with Mrs. Hahn and Sally and all that after for the next adventure?
I leave it to you whether you want to, as you guys were the two that were in the thick of the action, if you want to speak to Mrs. Hahn now, because she is available, you can do that right now. Or if you prefer to do it in downtime, you can do it then. If you'd like to think about it, it's up to you.
Let's just talk to her now.
Yeah.
Cool. So you come into the building, and as soon as you get into the lobby, then Juliet Hahn is waiting there. There are 4 guys that you've never seen before, heavily armed, not so much heavily armored. They look like slightly more competent versions of the guys that you ran into in the bodega, Heil. It's maybe she probably has people on retainer for this sort of thing. and they are, arranged around the perimeter of the lobby. Sally runs up and hugs her aunt. There's a brief whispered conversation in. Does anybody speak Korean?
No.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Then there's a brief whispered conversation which none of you understand.
All right.
And then
So I'll say Sam was nice enough to help us organize this little escape or extraction mission. Although I got to hand it to Heil, he was able to get those Yakuza to hop on board. I'm glad we were able to get you guys out, and I'll say that I was. We also were able to limit the casualties. It looks like their target was a school, a playground, children area nearby, and we managed to down a few of the attackers before they were able to do any real damage, including medevacing 2 of the individuals who were seriously wounded to make sure that you didn't end up with more casualties from at least that spot. I can't patrol the whole city for you, but at least out of that area, we were able to get a couple of them out to help save your reputation. As I understand, these kind of things happen, but maybe not in such crowded areas with mass, catastrophic casualties.
Mrs. Hahn follows all this silently, and then nods when you finish.
And I'll say that Travis
towards you.
Well, I took the opportunity of promising a favor from you to Travis for his assistance. I don't think we would have been able to do it without his AV for extraction, and also as you know, he likes to travel with some weaponry, which was definitely of assistance. And I happen to have 2 of them right now in the van, although not currently breathing. But one of them has a very specific tattoo that you might want to look at. It's identifying if you wanted to track down maybe more information about who put this hit out. I think a lot of these guys might have been run of the mill, but these guys definitely looked organized. It seemed like to be the main force, very tactical, very measured, very precision in what they were doing.
A look comes across her face. A tattoo, you say?
It's got white dragon all over the back.
Be very clear. All over the back? Or does it cover the torso? The head on the lower right portion of the front.
I'm going to try
and
to
the tail wrapping around the clavicle.
And
what she's described is exactly the positioning of this tattoo. Yeah.
And say, yeah, that's right. I wanted to make sure that I brought back the specific body for you, so you could take a look. I figured it might be interesting.
Yeah. She shoots a look back at Sally and says, "I know exactly who that is." "You're sure he's dead? You shot him in the head repeatedly?"
I'm going to say no, I did not. But he's in the van if we want to make sure.
I'm sure you did the job.
We're planning on chopping these guys. I mean, I don't know how much you want to know, but they got a couple of cyber arms I got my eyes on, so we're going to remove those and then dispose of them.
Feel free. I will do a visual confirmation, but I think I know who this is. This is a family matter.
Interesting.
And one which I may request your assistance in.
I'm going to wink at her and I'm going to say, we're always willing to help you out. I mean, you do provide a roof over our heads. which I think, if I recall, rent is coming due for our crew, isn't it?
Yeah, not this month.
Not this month. What's the?
I'm sorry, did you say not this quarter?
Now, boys, you know I could be extremely generous to my friends.
That's a good point.
If this is who I think it is in your van, you're about to get the chance to earn much more of my generosity. And Sally, behind her, looks as if she wants to say something, and almost as if she senses it, Juliet snaps round and gives her a look and says, "No, this ends now. We've given him enough chances."
Sounds like family business. I didn't say anything about that.
Let me be plain. This, you will come to these facts anyway, so it's better you have the information now. This is the doing of my brother, and I will need you to put an end to him. He is stuck in old, stupid Neanderthal ways, and he wants to eliminate Sally.
So I'm going to look over at Sally. I'm going to say, like, who are you, and what makes him think that, taking out a night market, ruining your reputation, and killing Sally is going to get him anywhere. Sounds a little bit bigger than just a spat between brother and sister.
This isn't between us. Oh, I'm sure that hurting my business would have been a nice bonus for him, but it was clearly not the main reason.
I'm going to say, but what is shooting or murdering a bartender going to help him with anything? What are you not telling us? And I'm going to say, we need to know what we're doing here. This is the second of your friends that we've helped you bail out.
Quite simply, he wishes to eliminate her because she is not the son that he wanted. And he believes in his archaic ways that he must get rid of her in order to pass on his family business. Most families have outgrown these stupid ideas. He refuses to learn, and now he's come to the point of violence. This is why Sally has lived with me.
Well,
And now it will end.
It's a good thing you know a few people who can handle these type of matters.
Indeed. But you'll all have to agree, as this is not a defensive job, let me be clear. This is elimination. I'm going to employ you to remove him permanently. And anyone else that stands in between you and him. But that is the objective. This is defense through offense.
Well, I mean, I can speak for myself, but not for some of the other members of our group here. We have to talk it over with them, but and assassination really isn't my particular role that I play. Honestly, it's not. I'm not really particularly interested in that. But given that it's my place of residence and it's going to affect where I'm living, he's already attacked us once. I can't really put it past him to try to roll in here and shoot up where I sleep at night. So at this point, I'd like to know a little bit more, and maybe we can discuss that later. But I think that's something I'd be willing to help you out with. I'm going to look over at Heil and say, Heil?
Sounds good to me. Let's talk to everybody else and figure it out. Worst case, I'll just do it myself.
Have your discussions, square it however you want. It's self-preservation, protection of an innocent girl who did nothing. Any of you that are willing to help me, come see me in my office. And she turns, puts her arm around Sally's shoulder, and leads her away back into the building. And that is where we will leave things, as we need to have that discussion with the other players, I think.
Yeah.
All right. Nice job, Panda. That was awesome, man.
So
it's a good little run there.
Glad you had fun. I'm glad I managed to keep you both doing things. I was slightly worried when I was like, oh, they have two objectives and they're splitting up. Am I going to leave someone bored for too long? But I don't think either of you waited that long between goes.
That's what the cigar is for, man. Just
you don't have to worry about
good company, cigar.
Yeah. Fun times.
Well, thank you very much both for playing. Thank you everyone in chat for coming along and watching our little game, and for checking out the Cyberpunk Uncensored everything channels, where we have more than just us playing our game here. There are more professionally run games with Rob and a lot of other people that you might recognize. We've got GM tips, we've got rules breakdowns, we've got discussions about cyberpunk lore and campaign building. There is so much going on that channel, so check out the everything's here on Twitch. It's also on YouTube. You can find everything archived on the Discord, the link for which should be below as well. So get involved there. If you want to find a game to play in, or to play a game and you need players for it, then that is also a good place to do it. That's where I met these lovely people, including the ones who aren't here today because we have wives and girlfriends. Yeah. Corporate holidays. So
hey, man,
yeah,
this corporate holiday got me a tour of a distillery and some very nice bourbon. So I'm not complaining this year.
No, that sounds good. My wife, if I remember correctly, got a card saying, "I'm not going anywhere, so suck it." Which that's that's the extent of corporate enforced romance.
Yeah, there you go.
And the nice little map we had for the park as well was one of the really nice map makers that I like to follow. I'd like to follow a lot more, but I'm unfortunately not made of money. But yeah, Z Maps, who does some awesome maps, and I think I've used one of his before as well. So yeah, give that a check, as well as all the various sponsors that we have. Check out the website for those. And let's just do a little reminder. I know we opened with it, but do you want to? We'll start with Burrows first because you were second before. Who are you? What do you do?
Yeah, so I'm Burroughs Forge. I do blacksmithing, beekeeping, falconry, and mead brewing. This is a little bit of a ram's head that I'm working on currently right now on my blacksmithing streams. Kind of looks like a dragon, but hopefully this will look more like a ram, although I might have already messed it up. But come hang out. We stream on Tuesday nights and Thursday nights at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Saturday mornings at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, along with, of course, Cyberpunk with these lovely gentlemen here. But before we switch over, I did want to ask you, Panda. I heard Rob talking about something with scream sheets, or there's a writing community or something. And I know some people might skip the break, but I think that's pretty important to mention in case somebody fast forwarded through there. What has Rob got going on right now on Discord with his writing group and the scream sheets?
There is indeed. So there is a writing group, which I am part of, even though I've not had a chance to write anything for it, which is going to change very shortly. I'm one of those people that writes far, far too much, so it may end up being that I just take one of the 9,000 projects I have already stored away and start looking at turning that in. But we're doing all sorts of productions. It can be really short, literal screen sheet content, short stories. If you've got a cyberpunk novel in mind and want to get people to read sections of it, get it known, and see about doing something with that, I'm sure we can arrange it. So there is all types of creative writing activity. We are trying to make sure that we support that there and give you people to bounce ideas off, people to offer suggestions and help, but also a place to get your ideas and your work in front of as many people as possible.
Yeah, and I think
so it's quite cool.
Rob mentioned that for the $1 Patreon subscription, you can actually post your stuff in there, and then they'll give you your own channel in the Discord where you can kind of post your stuff and get a lot of eyes on your equipment. So if anyone out there, any GMs who are looking at kind of building themselves a role or a world or some little facet of something, and they want to write some material, a great way to get your eyes on it is by hanging out in the Cyberpunk Uncensored Discord and sharing that. And for $1 a month to get all those eyes and have your own little space in there is pretty epic. I think it should be a lot more than that personally, but I don't know how we're not going to end up with thousands of little channels in there, but I'm sure you'll probably turn that off once we get to be too crazy. So now's the time if you want to get in on that and get your own little channel in the Cyberpunk Uncensored Discord. While the getting's good.
Whatever creative cyberpunk related activity you might want to do, even if it's nothing that we've ever touched on, there's a good chance that we can find a way to help you with it on the Cyberpunk Uncensored channel. There is so much ridiculous creativity in that place, and people in all walks of life that are just looking for projects to get involved with and things to do with this setting that we all love, and we want to we all want to put things out there that really support the community and further the game for all of us.
So, Hyle, what have you been up to?
Thank you very much for bringing that up.
So I don't know if we're gonna get it going, but I talked to Rob about maybe streaming another campaign starting maybe Friday. Currently, that group is in Alaska trying to track down a very dangerous replicant, and they've been attacked by very mad scientist mutated creatures, like mechanical creatures in the Arctic. I guess is Alaska the Arctic technically?
Maybe way up north. I don't know.
Well, it's in a mountain range and it's super cold. So yeah, they're just kind of trying to complete that right now. Other than that, I've just been doing my thing.
Awesome, thank you. As always, please do check out all the various social media, see where you can find all this amazing content that Rob produces. As I've said before, he works about 9,000 hours per day doing this, and he's always got something new in the works. Join us on the Discord, follow us on here, and we will keep coming up with more for you as long as people like it. So thanks very much for coming along. Thanks for getting involved in the chat. And if you can support any of our awesome sponsors and the brilliant products that they produce, that's even better. So thanks very much, and have a good weekend.
Awesome. Take care, guys.